It's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
And boom, what's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back, goddammit, to another edition of Tell Me a Joke, the guideline of chasing the dream. I'm your host of Maniacal, Menace, say the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback. And today, I got Pappa Bear on side of me. The man has been here. He's the reason that I this whole camera situation and everything that I set up, he's the reason that I do this today. So put your hands together for Adam. Boom, 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 boom. This is the claps right here. You can't hear the claps, but everybody else can hear the claps. And then I fade in and fade out. Oh, good to see you, Adam. I love this hat. This is just a spiffy hat.
Oh, I'm reaching an interesting age.
Yeah? Is cowboy hat age? Phase? Era?
No,
How do you feel?
I've been in country, it's called being a hat act. It usually applies to musicians, but I've been a hat act since I was like 18. A
hat act. I like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious what it means. There's some guys that you see them on stage and they don't wear a hat, and some are hat acts.
Yeah.
But, I'm a different person.
Yeah,
than a lot of people. I can be a lot.
That's why we gravitate towards each other. I like different.
But you're fine as you are, but you don't have pussy, so it don't.
That's true.
True. There's a different that's great, but no, I just I'm a strange person, and so like people like me tend to try to assimilate, to gravitate more towards people of the opposite sex, and and other men too, like for different reasons. But, over time, you just start to lose pieces of yourself. And, like, I went through some stuff this year, and I was just like, you're about to be 46 years old. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, just be you. Like, because a lot of times I wouldn't wear the hat because, like, because people give you, like, strange looks and stuff like that, because it's New Orleans. It ain't the same. This ain't this kind of,
honestly, sitting over there beyond the flute man is where you told me. We're in City Park, New Orleans, sitting over there beyond the flute guy who had no flute but saxophones. I still didn't see the flute.
He had a little flute rack.
Yeah,
I didn't know they made flute racks, but they do. Curiously, it was more of a saxophone rack actually, but he had switched. But I just thought, now I could have been like, hey man, I'm wearing a big ass brown hat.
You could have. That would have been more, because I glanced over you. I swear, I was like, is that Logan from fucking Wolverine? Like, I thought for a few seconds, I was like, that's not Adam.
That's a little more like Blob than
somebody.
Logan, but
No, because the area you were sitting at, and just the angle, just like you were sitting real cool. You were sitting real cool, and you were just boom, hat low. I didn't really see your eyes, and I was like, that's not Adam. That's that's Wolverine over there. What's going on? And then I get close, and I'm like, what the fuck, Adam? All right, you've been slimming down and everything, sir.
The diabetes caught me.
Oh.
And I lost my job like 2 months later. I got laid off. So I was like, and you know me, like I deal with constant depression issues. So I was like, I can't sit on my ass. Like I gotta. So I started actually coming here, and other places. Did you know there's an old City Park on the other side of the interstate?
No.
It's an
probably, but
place.
no.
There's a lot of like areas where crack has definitely been dealt and used. Or I guess that's old people. Meth. Or
okay.
That's
the
or fentanyl.
Fentanyls.
Yeah.
Fentanyls and condom wrappers.
So there's like actual, like, there's animals here, but there's like wildlife in the old, But the tracks, the people still use them. They actually use them for ultimate frisbee.
The old place.
Ina out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Was she climbing shit?
Esther. No, I don't know what she was doing. She was just walking. They moved to Florida.
Yeah.
She was just out there, and I was like, oh, hey,
Yeah. Well, they used to. Her and Corey used to just gotta like go parkour through the park, but also she used to take people on she used to get paid to take people on like run through the park adventures.
That's an interesting place to go take people.
Yeah,
like
and
I said,
also,
meth has definitely been done and dealt there.
White folks definitely want to spend some money on some crazy shit.
Ina Esther is a comedian. I don't know if she's been on your show.
Yes, they have. Okay. I've had both of them on here.
Because like we're talking about this person. Like if I was just watching this, I'd be like,
well,
what?
We 5 years in, so they would have to go way back in the catalog. They haven't been on the video version like you've been on here on the audio form, and so I'm really going back to being like, I definitely need to get all my people like that I have had on here on the video form. It just
it's a little harder with me because you're out there. I'm
yeah.
God knows where I am at any moment.
I know, but see the places that you do go now. Like you, this is if anybody doesn't know, this is Adam. He is the guy that has shot my wedding. He is the camera guy. He is the guy that knows all of tech when it comes to with shit. Like he helped me set this up. So when it comes to asking questions, and I am very curious on what the fuck he is doing at this abandoned Six Flags. So, when it comes to asking...
you can ask questions about that. I can't say
You can't say anything.
No, I can talk about it.
Yes, the train's coming.
I can't say things that are like proprietary. So like, I'll get questions about. I guess we should hold because I don't know how the audio's handling.
Actually audio
it should be
really
fine because I'm talking straight into the mic.
Yeah,
but let's just give it a second just in case. Hi, folks. Adam Santino, photographer, author. I always want to throw in ladies' man, but that's a lie.
It's fun though. This hat definitely comes with a ladies' man moniker. So
can I tell you, like, you'll enjoy this?
Yes,
because you've known me for a while. We used to podcast together.
Yes.
So I'm kind of known for having a lot of names.
Yeah. Fucks me up every time. That's why you just Adam today.
The most common was Buck Lightning, which was a bit that I did that people take way too far. Because I have a tendency to do when I think of something, I run with it because it amuses me. But then, like, in my mind, it runs out.
Your amusement is different from everyone else's.
Well, no, just because I do it so much. But then, like, people still in their phones, like, Buck Lightning is my name, and I'm just like, I mean, cool, but I don't call myself that.
Yep.
No, I've been going by Gator Santino.
See, because the changing of name is awesome. Keep going. I don't mind.
Like, I was telling a friend of mine about this, and they just had the baby, but she was 7 months pregnant and not having an easy pregnancy. So she's just like done with everything. Yeah. And I was telling her about it, and I was like, she had this look on her face, and I was just like, you just want to punch me in the face, don't you? She's like, honestly, Adam, at this point, it's just pretty on brand for you. I was like, it is. But then I was like, but I got to tell you, I also have a catchphrase. Oh. And she goes,
insult to injury.
All right. I was like, you ready? She's like, just do it. And I looked at her and I said, Gator done.
Oh, no.
I don't actually use that in public, but it did amuse me.
It's very hilarious. Also, that touched me in a way to where it was just like, you did do that, and I could see you doing that, and the cringe that it would come on somebody's face.
But you know me, because that's very much me. When we would do stand up, we would always talk about, because you would host most of the time. You would host, and having me on stage, you would always kind of be like, God, here we go. Here we go.
I was prepared, but the audience is never prepared for what Adam could bring.
Because I push it.
Yeah.
And that's where I get my amusement from.
Yes, exactly.
Because I know I'm going to get a few laughs here and there. Not a lot, but a few. Mm-hmm. But eventually, like, I'm just going to keep going, and at some point, the audience is like, ooh. Yeah. Ooh, not like Big J Okerson, ooh. Oh. But like still to the point where...
To say that you brought him up, have you seen his last specials, They and Them?
It's I saw part of it. It wasn't as good as some of his old stuff, so I kind of like... I need to watch the whole thing because I'm a big fan of his.
Yes.
Although he's the only comedian where even I went like, oh man, because there's a special that he did, I think it was Netflix, where he starts talking about his daughter's pussy, and I was like, oh. I was like, and I know it's not like, it's a joke. Yeah. He's not, but even I was like.
The Degenerates. She was like on the Degenerates.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And she was like 16 at that point, and I was just like, man, somebody's going to see this at her school.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's a lot. But
Good.
whatever. But
that's the thin hymen line on comedy when it comes to like, should you joke about this or should you not joke about this? Then you have that side that's like, oh, y'all shouldn't be joking about this. But then you have the other side that's like, bitch, we comedy. We're comedians.
The litmus test for everything is it funny?
Right.
Which, to be fair, depends on the audience that you're in front of.
Right.
And you know, and I'll give you a good example from me because I'm very close to a free speech absolutist.
Yes.
Not 100%. Some of it's timing. And again, audience. But so my nephew has Down syndrome.
Yeah.
One of the last jokes I told at a very infamous night in Mississippi. He's laughing because this was a story. This is like an annual photo that pops up where it's just like, oh, that night. It was the last night I did stand up. It was 2018.
I gotta get Jack Lock on here too.
July 16, 2018. I remember the date. But I did a half finished Down syndrome joke. And now, like, my nephew has Down syndrome. So, like, when I hear somebody, you know, there's a part of me that goes, like, that's kind of fucked up. But then the rest of me goes, you didn't think so when you joked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And were you trying to make fun of people with Down syndrome? No. That wasn't my intent.
No.
My intent, and I always say my test is, if you say I'm offended by a joke, I don't give a fuck. But if I hurt your feelings, I care.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. There's a difference. There's a difference. Like, I told this joke because I felt this joke was going to be hilarious. But also the joke that you tell it's mainly a story. It's a story that, you know.
You remember the
yeah,
the story?
definitely.
Okay.
Yes. I definitely remember that.
Memorable.
Yeah. Cuz the faces and the groans that you can hear when people go through, because it's the reaction that you get after the story is told when people's like, oh, it's just like, ah.
It was just because we're in front of a camera. It was a story. I was in Mississippi, actually, in a resort, and there was I'm assuming like 15-year-old kid with Down syndrome that was yelling something like, I forget the whole story, but he was yelling something like, I'm gonna shit, or I couldn't exactly hear, and he was right behind me.
Yeah.
Like, way too close, you know, and I'm in a lazy river, and I think he kept like bumping me. Like, I'd have to like go back, and I don't think I have it on video, but I might have it recorded somewhere on a podcast or something.
I think I might have. I don't know. I would have to look.
Because I don't remember. A lot of weird stuff happens to me, which is why you brought me on here. But
it's so true.
But I was telling the story, and because that's one thing about me, I always say, like, there's a reason I'm not a stand-up. It's because I don't have the heart of a stand-up. Like, when I'm on stage, I don't feel what you're supposed to feel.
You have the knowledge of a comedy nerd, though, which is so crazy that you're not stand-up.
I have the mind of a stand-up, and I have the soul of a stand-up, because I'm always looking for the joke. But just on stage, it's just, I realize it's not my medium.
It's just understand it ain't for everybody to be on the stage.
I wish it was, because I love comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I love nothing more than making people laugh. But a lot of it comes from, and I'm curious, like, if you had people, like, because like for me, what it was when I was a little kid, there would be these guys. It's like old guys, probably around my age now. Yeah. As I say old, you know. But like these guys that would like turn the chair around and like at family dinners, and they would hold court and everybody, because they wanted to hear those stories. And as like a weird kid that people kind of, you know, like the kids when I was a kid would make me play Skeletor because they wanted to hit me with a stick. Not lying.
That's so upsetting.
I never got to be He-Man. That's the upsetting part, because I wanted to be He-Man, because, you know, Tila. But, you know, and sorceress to a degree, you know, the feathers. But these guys would hold court, and you would see when you're a little kid, like, oh, those guys are cool.
Yeah.
So you wanted to learn how to tell story, or at least me. I don't know if you had like situations.
No,
like
we had Full House, and they had Jesse, Uncle Jesse. Uncle Jesse was cool. I used to watch the Fonz. Anytime he would come in with a leather jacket and go, "Hey, man, what?" I don't know why that's cool. That's actually, you seem kind of special ed to just say that's all you do. You don't go to class no more. You stop learning. You just coming in, with a leather jacket that's too big. But whatever.
Now I kind of want to rewatch Happy Day. Thanks for ruining that for me. Thank God I wasn't into Joni. Like, that would have just ruined shit for me. Oh, man. I was more into Tracy Gold from Growing Pains because she had an eating disorder, so I knew I could ruin her. Again, somebody could be easily offended by that, you know.
It put me, and see, that's because it's the unexpected is what always gets me, because I have friends like this. You are one of them, to where it's just like you don't expect motherfucker to say something like that, and then it goes totally left, and it's like, holy shit, that was funny. I enjoy, and it's usually something that's very inappropriate, and it's like, yeah, what happened to those days? I miss those days of being being a guy around. But I understand it. If it hurts somebody's feelings, it's not my intention. So I watch what I say, kind of.
So Comedy New Orleans has always had a problem of there's never a successful comedy club because New Orleans people don't give a fuck about it.
Try.
So if you build one, nobody shows up because they say they want comedy and they don't show up.
Right.
So comedy always has to be in strange places. But if you're in a comedy club, you have to go in with the mentality that somebody might say something you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Like it might be racist, it might be sexist, it might just be, I don't know, you got IBS or something and they're just talking about shit, I don't know. But you have to go in with that mentality. But if you are like, because I've seen comedy shows in coffee shops.
Yeah. And
that's always a strange one. But even like, I remember one night we were doing it Twist the Lime. This is when you first started hosting for us, because I was the first host.
Yeah, I remember that. I tried to holler at Wayne today too. So.
Oh really? He's
very busy.
He's always busy. He's always working. But like I was I'll get to that in a second. But there were these two women. Like, so Twist of Lime had a very strange setup because the bar was on the right side of the
come in
the stage.
You wouldn't even see the bar as soon as you come in. You would have to walk around, and then
the stage was like to the back, and then they also had gambling machines on side of the stage.
Yeah.
And so like, and they would be playing like UFC or football or whatever was going, like LSU
never good
game.
for a comedy player.
Yeah. So like there are people that are sitting in the bar just want to watch the game. And I remember there was these two women. You had a microphone, and it's not a like rigged sound system.
I have this on
It's
film.
an in-house sound system.
Yeah.
And these women were so loud that you just started talking shit to them.
Yeah.
Because you could hear them over everything, and you're talking shit to them, and they don't even hear.
They don't. At all.
They're just oblivious, and I'm like, I guess this is the show tonight. It's amusing, but at some point, I feel like we need to move on from this bit.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of comedy New Orleans that like sucks, not because of the performance necessarily, because
venues ain't prepped up for that.
Very quick story. There used to be a hot dog place in Slide Out that I love. Fantastic giant
Wiener
beef hot
Schnitzel?
dogs. No.
Oh, okay.
No. It was so the place, I don't remember the name of it, but it was dedicated to the Chicago Cubs.
Oh.
Strange thing, Slide Out, Louisiana, don't know why, but they were. But it was a great hot dog place. It wasn't expensive. It was like $8 for like a full giant hot dog. That was your lunch.
Yeah.
But they would go and they would play the baseball games, which, play during the day when you're at work. And I would be like, this would be like my lunch break.
Like a Nathan's hot dog?
Bigger than that.
Bigger than a Nathan's. Like
this
jumbo. Wow.
Yeah, they sell the same size hot dogs at Walmart now. I highly recommend. Very great hot dogs. But anyway,
I need to know the brand of this
I
hot
went
dog.
there one day and they start playing the Cubs game. And I'm trying to eat my lunch. And they start playing national anthem. Now, I'm not an unpatriotic person. I was a Boy Scout. But I'm just like, man, I'm just trying to eat my lunch, man. Like, so everybody else is standing up with their heart on it, and I'm just like, dude. And I felt kind of like an asshole.
Was it an actual Cubs game going on?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was just like, well, also, I'm not at the game.
Yeah,
I'm in a restaurant, you know.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, like, I get it. Like, sometimes you're at a bar and you You just wanted to go drink, and somebody's up there with a microphone.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
None of this is why you had me on. You really want to just ask about Six Flags, don't you?
No.
Yeah, that's okay.
No. Well, you know where we go. Anytime we do come on, anytime we do have a conversation about anything, and I'm like, oh, please tell me more. I'm very curious on what because these are fun facts that not everybody's gonna know, and it's good. It's good to throw that out there because this other city park that you ain't never now you're gonna have all the people going over there and getting shot and shit just because they want to go check it out. But I love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance that somebody's there with a gun. This is like literally like they have a ultimate frisbee course on the side of it because there's also a golf course like on the other side of the road. But like if you go walk there, it's like Wild Kingdom, and they'll just have these like buildings. Like I don't know if you can see them behind us, but they'll have these old buildings that were set up for, I don't know, refreshments or something like that. But they're clearly cracked. One of them looked like a homeless person had like just decided this is my house, and it gathered like, let's assume through legal means, like there was like a whole setup, and I was just like, that person wasn't there, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I remember walking past it, goes like, how many people got raped here? And am I going to be one of them? I should leave because there's no one around but me.
This is the area where you drag them and you don't hear the screams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places like that in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Honestly.
The night war is still terrible over there too.
Oh yeah,
they still got I tell people they still got the spray paint on the doors over there. On the other side, you cross that bridge by the Bywater in the Bywater area. I don't go over there. I don't know.
You used to stand up there.
Right, well, before going over the bridge, being right there next to at Redux, that's like right before the bridge. But I used to do Stephen King's the parody Tit instead of It. I did the parody Tit over there. It was fun. There was a theater over there that ain't nobody was going to next to O'Reilly's, next to the naval base. The base is over there, and
it's
what is that now? It's still the naval.
It's the Coast Guard.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's the Coast
Guard.
Right. Yeah.
Coast Guard's over there. It's still bad. It is.
Yeah,
it is still terrible.
My favorite is there's an actual bar in New Orleans called Bullets.
Yeah.
And I went and saw Corey Mack there, and I had never been that, because there's a lot of areas in New Orleans you just don't drive to unless you live there. And I remember walking out like in this neighborhood. I had to park down the street, and I walked out. And as I'm walking, I realized I'm wearing a Harry Potter Ravenclaw hat. And I was just like,
you going to Bullets.
Yeah, I was like, I should turn around because, as everybody knows, black people are more Hufflepuff than Ravenclaw. But
see, that's exactly why I got you on here, Pappa Bear.
To be fair, I've had that bit for a long time. But I was like literally walking out and I had this Ravenclaw and I was just like, no, I'm walking to a place called Bullets. Let me go put this motherfucker away.
Definitely. That's what.
On top of that, ironically, there was a man there that Corey kept mentioning, like, this motherfucker definitely has a knife. Which, credit to Corey, he's saying this on mic.
On mic, yeah.
And this dude definitely did have a knife.
He definitely had a knife
in Bullets, but did not pull it on him, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I think there was some sort of scuffle.
So
not with Corey, but like there, and it got uncomfortable.
I can imagine. Your Bullets is if you ain't okay. Basically, let me show you the setup of Bullets. All right, it's a corner store. It's a corner store bar, and it's owned by a friend's uncle. All right, Tony Frederick, his uncle or whatever, something like that. It's a family thing. So Tony Frederick used to do comedy at Bullets. All right, now Bullets it's off of a main street. So if anybody want to drive by, you pop through this big ass window, everybody getting shot up. That's the type of situation you got. And your stand-up setup, as soon as you come through the door, because it's a corner store. It's a corner store area. As soon as you come through the door, the mic is right here. So everybody that comes through the door is immediately walking through your set. They're going, it doesn't matter. And most of the times people aren't there to understand that there was comedy there. They can see if they look through the window, but most people are drunk and they don't give a fuck about that. And so they'll come in and they'll look at you stupid and then go sit down and then possibly heckle. You could possibly get heckled. People have been shot at bullets.
So you take it if they heckle you. You don't
Right,
like
yeah, no.
This ain't Netflix.
No.
Somebody's like responding back. This
No,
is like,
you probably
yes,
get
sir.
beat up and dumped in a dumpster after that. So
I
you
do
definitely it is if you ain't got your wits about you, you'll definitely get fucked up at bullets. I don't even know if they're still doing comedy. It was hard to keep comedy up at bullets. It was
I don't
hard.
understand why anyone goes to a place in that area called Bullets.
Well, to test your might, basically. If you want to do comedy and that's what your thing was, if you really love comedy, you're gonna try to test your might in every area. And Bullets was like there's a place in that's adorable. That's the most adorable shit ever. And I got it. It's following us. It's City Park. What's happening? Bullets is like Swaggers. Basically, there's a place in Texas that everybody goes to that they get comics get eviscerated on the stage. People have had their notebooks taken,
But not. Oh, so we're talking physically then.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
like they physically like.
I thought you were talking about like the Apollo, where like comedians would just like get like
no.
destroyed. Like, no, you're talking about.
But
same
it's like
thing,
one of those
same
places.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People have gotten their notebooks taken. People have gotten their time taken away. Like you got 5 minutes, motherfucker. Go ahead and roll the time back, motherfucker. It comes and cut the mic off on you. Like Swaggers is one of those places that if you're not ready, then don't go because you gonna feel bad.
See, but I don't have, like, putting aside the comedy, I don't have that instinct. Like, I always tell people, like, I'm not an alpha, I'm not a beta. I do what I want, and if somebody comes to me and is just like, hey, let's go, and look, and I do a lot of dumb shit. We know I do a lot of dumb shit. There's a lot of things that have happened. You've seen some of them where you just go like, why did you do that? And just in my mind, I was like, I just thought it would be fun. I don't know. But like, if you tell me something dumb that like, I just don't see like what the point is, I just go, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to go hang out at Bullets? No. With your pussy? If you want, I'm not going to Bullets.
That ain't gonna deter
I'm gonna
me
be
at
bullet
all
free.
nowadays.
You know,
Yeah.
I will be stab free. You go to Bullets. You go to Bullets.
It's
Whatever
one of
it
those
is.
places. I mean, but all of New Orleans is like that, depending on where you going. You know, you definitely got to have your wits about you. Just because, yeah. I mean, certain places it's fine, like those normal places, but other places when they start to pop off in new areas, I'm like, yo. First off, parking gonna be a bitch. Secondly, when I park, I don't want my car broken into. And thirdly, I don't want to have to fight to get out of here. You know, there's certain places that you go to around here. It's like that's a sketchy area. But also, it's New Orleans. What's going on? Why is everything shutting down?
Which
I know that St. Rock's is not.
Oh, I don't know anything about. Dude, I don't. First of all, I leave New Orleans. I live in Jefferson Parish. I leave New Orleans to New Orleans. Whenever
out
people
there city limits.
whenever people complain about LaToya, the only reason I have any knowledge of it,
the city mayor.
the only reason I have any knowledge of it is because of my work at Jazzland. I've never met her, although at some point we were supposed to do a shoot with her. Camera shoot, not something I've always been like it's such a weird term, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But like when I was like, hey, you want to do a shoot with me? You mind if I shoot you? Like it's always been a weird term for me, but that's just it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
But the only reason I have any knowledge of her is because of like the loose, and that's why like I've had people. There's a whole Jazzland. Whether it's, some people call it Six Flags New Orleans, I always call it Jazzland.
Yeah,
because it's the better name.
It's always gonna be Jazzland to me.
But there's a whole online bring back Jazzland community. Very nice people. Not to be mean to them. It's always been a little delusional. Like it was never coming back.
No.
But and I understand they tried and they had some of those people had money,
They
but
tried.
like sometimes they'll ask one guy who's been I assume it's a guy, I don't know, it's a Twitter account. It's been very nice to me. Asked me the other day, like, hey, what's going on with the demolition? And I'm just like, man, I can't talk about the demolition. Like I'm
It's
not
like, why would y'all bring that here?
what you mean?
Well, I mean, I was grateful that we had Jazzland, but I was like,
Oh, why even build the park there?
yeah. I never understood it.
New Orleans is a city. Well, let me rephrase that. I always say New Orleans is a small town with delusions of grandeur.
Yes.
This is not, you live in, or you, I don't, maybe you don't anymore. I assume you still live in Houston?
Yeah.
That's a city.
That's a city.
Now, to be fair, that is a massive city.
Very big.
But it's a city. Like, you go through Atlanta, and it's an hour from north to south, you know? Dallas.
Oh, it take 3 hours just to get to Dallas from Houston.
Well, just drive. I'm talking about driving through Dallas. Takes forever.
Yeah, ridiculous.
New Orleans, you can get from Kenner to New Orleans East in like 15 minutes unless there's an accident.
I tell people the distance math when it comes to New Orleans and in Houston. Like Houston, I can drive an hour 10, an hour 15 just to be getting to a relative's house.
Right.
You know, that's just in the same county and everything. And that's just how long it's going to take.
Because it's a proper
right.
city.
Out here, that's me driving to Baton Rouge. That's a whole nother city.
Literally, yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, like, New Orleans always wants to believe it's more than it is. So, like, the thing is, like, the math never added up when it comes to having something like that, because for a theme park to work, you need two things. You need tourist traffic. You also need constant local traffic.
Right.
Now, granted, like, a lot of theme parks are seasonal, but the thing is, like, just put aside the local traffic, which was never going to happen because, like you said, it's New Orleans East. There were plenty of people that loved the place, but they weren't going every week. Whether you had season pass or not, maybe you went 2 or 3 times a season. Maybe. That was it.
And good luck for getting people out from Baton Rouge trying to come down.
Sure. Or maybe Slidell. You know, maybe, but it's the same thing. You're going to go 2 or 3 times. You need more than that. But also, when it comes to tourist traffic, New Orleans is seasonal.
Yeah.
That's our tourism is seasonal. You know when people don't want to come to New Orleans? In the fucking summer. When it's hot.
Fuck. Yeah.
That's when the theme park was open.
Yeah.
Mostly during the summer. So, like, it doesn't make sense if you do the math.
That's why Blue Bayou does so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're still active. I don't know if they do well, but they're still able to make it.
True. Bayou Snet's still a thing, though, right?
I mean,
couldn't even tell you, though.
There's no, like, theme park in Bayou Snet.
Bayou Snet had the wave pool, though. Bayou Snet was the place that you can go to if you couldn't. Pool? Yeah, because that was the place
I used to go to Waveland, Mississippi. I didn't know there was a.
See, that's the thing. If you couldn't get to Baton Rouge,
there is still a wave pool in Waveland.
Oh yeah,
it's like $20. I haven't been there. I need to go.
Is it just that? Do they have slides as well?
I think they might have some. Oh, not like big waters. I thought you meant like kid slides. I think they have that. It's like a little. Nah, it's a little thing.
Okay, yeah.
But they do have like a giant water. We're getting off topic.
Yeah, I get it. But Bayou Snet was just a smaller version of like.
No, I got you.
Of Blue Bayou, kinda. Like if it was ducked off towards in the West Bank area. Right. So, but
But all that's gonna get is like West Bank local.
Yeah.
It ain't even getting New Orleans traffic if you have something.
No.
Like that. So New Orleans is a hard place to build things like that, and the truth is like I went to Jazzland twice. Both times when it's at Six Flags New Orleans. And honestly, the main reason was because we had some girls with us that wanted to go.
We had the season passes.
See, a lot of people did. I never did. Like I went twice, and I worked at Disney, so it's cool, but it's another level. But now, not now, but up until the last 6 months, Six Flags New Orleans, Jazzland, whatever you want to call it, was so much more interesting as an abandoned theme park than it ever was as a theme park.
Yeah, like just the photos and things that I've seen before even y'all doing whatever y'all are doing there, like just the things that I've seen there, just at night, passing by it, because I had season passes, so out of all my friends, I could say that I went there the most, but. On my hand, probably like 7 times, right. And I had friends that was like, "Oh, we're going to Jazzland." I'm like, it ain't all that, because I've been to Disney World, so it's just like this is cool and shit. They would bring other attractions and other roller coasters and such, like when the Superman and shit came. Cool, but. It's still...
like you rode in a limo and then somebody wanted to go put you in a Miata.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with the Miata. Well, bad example. But, But there's nothing wrong with like a regular car, but like after you spent like a year riding in the back of a limo, last thing you want to do is be in the back of a Chrysler, you know?
Right. Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's all it is. And it's not, you know, because like honestly, like, because most of the park is gone. Most of the park's been demolished. I can say that much because you can go online and see videos. But some of those rides, when they were still intact, I was like, man, this is probably like a fucking fun ride.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But like that's in hindsight. That's like now.
That's
you know?
crazy. They just what? So I don't know if you can talk about this, but I mean the thing it's abandoned. What do you
well,
just?
I guess we should start from that. So I spent the last 2 years as the assistant for one of the best photographers on the planet. His name's Jason Lanier. He's a photographer. He's a documentarian. And I can't talk about the ins and outs, but we got an opportunity through Eros Studios to be part of like documenting the park.
Yeah.
And also documenting demolition. So in addition to my day
job,
I would, especially in the last year, I've spent like nights and weekends. When I get off of work, I don't go home. I don't go get something to eat. I would go straight to the park.
Yeah.
Because there was always something that we were doing. But so that's why I've been down like more the last year, like because it was more sparing in 2023 going into 2024. But like around September or August.
I guess my curiosity about it is not actually having to do with your doing, but my curiosity about just the park in general. Like, what do you do with an abandoned park? Like, what do you do with the rides? Like, I pass, I'm always seeing this, and I'm like, you just gonna leave that there? Is it a monument now, or is it trash?
So most of the park has been demolished. My understanding is that I'm no longer there. My part to do with it's done.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is that they're currently cleaning up the remains of it, but they were demolishing it so that they could build new things on the site.
But before that, like it was just because Jazzland has not been a thing for years, and it's always just been
two things. One, it's been used as a movie studio many times.
True.
Which has always to me been the benefit. Like, if it was me, I would have kept the whole thing up.
This little Hollywood down here.
The stuff that was like Warner Brothers specific, like the Joker ride and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they had to demolish it. That's proprietary. But like
that's what I'm talking about. Like, what do they do? Do they bring it back to Warner Brothers? Do they refurbish?
No, Warner Brothers took everything. The only thing they wanted was the Batman ride. They took that. That's in San Antonio.
They just moved that. They moved
the whole ride.
Okay, see, that's what I want to know.
But the signs were still there. I have pictures of the signs.
Oh, like that's
they had metal cutouts of like Nightwing and Batman and Batgirl and Catwoman and all these things.
I remember when those came.
But Warner Brothers took everything they wanted, which was pretty much the Batman ride.
Yeah.
They didn't take the Catwoman ride. They didn't take the Joker ride. Like that was left. Thankfully, because like some of those ride vehicles are fucking incredible. So getting to see those and like sit in them and use them for photo shoots. Some of which you can see. I can talk about what's online basically, because there's things that I just can't, like it's part of the process and whatever happens next, which I'm not necessarily involved in. But the it's been used as a movie studio, but also the other thing is, do you know what Urbex is?
No.
Urban exploration. Basically, it's the people that go and explore abandoned places.
So cool. I watch YouTube videos of people doing that, and I want to do that, but now I'm a daddy, so I don't think about it.
There's places you can go where it's safe, and there's places where you can't. So I mean, I ain't trying to encourage you to do it. You got a kid.
It would have been something I would have done like a long time, because I used to just go in abandoned buildings and shit, just fucking around, me, my brother, just just shit out here.
Honestly, I think it's pretty safe. You just got to have your wits about you. You got to know, because some of these places, so Jazzland's a good example. A lot of none of that stuff been maintained.
No. Yeah, very dangerous.
It's all like like when you're stepping on the Mega Zeph, when we would have people over, I would be like, don't step there. That's soft. There's a lot of sketchy places where, and I've never fallen through. I did eat shit once, though, trying to grab a light that was sitting on. We had put up a light on one of the Ferris with a Big Easy Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
There was a light up on one of the carts, and I had to go grab it. And it was night, and I wasn't paying enough attention. And my feet came up from underneath me.
Ooh.
And I went down and hit the concrete.
Ooh.
Thankfully, there were no nails, because I could have died.
For real.
There had been because there are
rusty
nails
nail or some shit.
Could have went through my brain, something like that. So there's, you have to have, but also if you go to some abandoned places, there might be like drug dealers,
definitely,
or serial killers. Like it might be an actual rape shack, because
the place that's behind Redux, that little spot.
Yeah, the end of the world.
Oh,
yeah, that's an urbex place.
I'm like, yo, there's just. Look at that place. There's got to be just none but evil entities all through this motherfucker. But
that's why urbexers love that stuff, because there's some places that you go, and I don't know if you believe in spirits or whatever, but there's some places you go where you can kind of feel the place.
Oh, especially down here, it's fucking voodoo town. Like, we gonna love some shit like that.
But down here, there's a lot of those places had like dead slaves, so there might actually be spirits, But yeah, the number one urbex place in the world is Chernobyl, which I actually met a guy who went there, and I asked him questions. Interesting. But arguably the number 2 urbex place in the world was Jazzland.
Oh.
So that's part of why the city wanted it torn down, because people were always breaking in.
Yeah, shit. If I was younger, I would have been one of those people that
it wasn't that hard.
No,
honestly, a lot of people just bribed the guard.
Oh, there is a guard. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was security. But yeah, no, there was, and the security rotates. It's not the same people that were there when. There's one guy, very cool guy, that's been there. Actually, he was there when. Man, why is this my boy? Why is my brain blanking on him? I can picture his face. He would be upset, but he was there when the park was open, and he's still there. But all the other security, are different people.
I was about to say I used to do security, so I could imagine who could be.
Yeah, but people don't really go anymore, because, like I said, most of the park's demolished now. The only part of the skyline that you can see if you go drive down there is the Ferris wheel still there.
Oh, okay.
It's not the only part of the park that's still there, but as far as the skyline, everything else.
Yeah, because most of the time it would be you would see the coaster and and then the wheel.
Well, there were a few different roller coasters that you could see, but yeah, those are all gone now. And again, I can talk about this because, number one, you can see. If you go drive past, it's not there anymore. But yeah, I don't really have much to do with it at this point. I just got a lot of photos and videos.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's, man, and just from you, see the progression that has came from. I've always known Adam to just be taking pictures and everything, but now the things that you could do, and it's got to be a dream come true to you, kind of, sort of, just because you're a park guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the goal. And I don't, there's a thing where you don't want to shit on people's jobs. It's not like I look at the people around me and I'm like, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
But I also know me, and I'm like, I'm really wasted doing working in a parts department. Because I'm capable of a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether or not I can get the jobs that I'm capable of, that's another story. But I am capable of more. So yeah, like I said, I've been working my ass off. And the worst part isn't the work. The worst part was the mosquitoes.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, no, we were in
that is
all
that
swamp.
Stagnant water.
I've been bitten by literally thousands of mosquitoes.
You going out there long sleeving it and shit?
It don't matter.
Yeah, they'll bite through the shirt.
They'll bite through your jeans.
Yeah, they will.
You don't realize that, because we're
got you off
down
in
here.
your
You're used to mosquitoes.
Yeah, no,
they just go for your neck. But no, out there,
yeah,
there's hundreds of them at any given point, and they want some. So like they'll like I would have like 50 of them, like just sitting on my knees. And I'm like, it's like, how am I getting bitten? But their little needles that goes through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I trying to work, and also trying to, like I said, I'm working for one of the, it's weird to say it again and again, but he really is one of the best photographers on the planet. And like, so getting to learn has been an important part, because you kind of built me up like, oh, he's the camera, but like my knowledge is pretty.
You get knowledge from the guy that's the best ever, and I get knowledge from you, and so I'm like, and motherfuckers like, hey Kyle, you're doing a great job, and I'm like, well, this is the guy why.
But I also, if any type of art that you want to do, and this is the guide to a dream, so like one of the most important parts of being any type of artist, whatever it may be, is being realistic about where you are, because you can't, if just in terms of like a track. You can't get to the end of the road if you constantly believe you're already at the middle. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of have to know where you are to get to where you want to be. And so, like, I'm a good photographer. I'm not a great photographer. Sometimes people tell, and I can get great shots on purpose at this point. But I'll have people, like, if I post a shot from, like, say, because most of my stuff has been from Jazzland for the last year. Once we're finally able to start posting. And it's like, less than a tenth of what I have, but what I've been able to post. But somebody was telling me like, oh, you and my boss Jason, oh man, y'all's working so good. I was like, thank you. I was like, I'm not there. And he's just like, no, man, you're so good. And I was like, I appreciate that, but I know.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be him, but I am trying to get to that level. And if I accept people are trying to be nice, but internally I have to be like, no, that's not where you are. That level is what you want to get to. If you start telling yourself that's where you are, you'll never get to that point, because you'll just be like, why?
Right.
I'm awesome.
Right.
And how many comics have you known, or I don't know if poetry's the same, but how many have you known that just in their head were like, bruh, I'm the funniest guy out there.
Oh, I don't. I definitely don't stick around those folks, because I hate people like that.
But you've seen that.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
you just go like, man, like, you might even
there's
say
a few
like
people like that. That's where there's God's gift of comedy and poetry. I haven't met anybody like that in the poetry field yet, which is good, because I don't want to. No, I do know a few, but yeah,
you said you had a little venom there when you said, oh no, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, even if that person has talent, in your head you just go like, no, man. Like, and it's not like trying to put that person down, but it's just like, dude, you ain't never going to be that guy, because you're already telling yourself that. And
right.
It's not,
you can't humble yourself.
You have to be confident in your ability, but internally you have to know, like, no, I still have, there's so many more miles to go,
Yeah.
And I'm at a point
There's
in my
always
life where
something
I'm
to
just
learn.
like, man, why hold back? Like, just like, if you got goals, if you want to be a great comedian, if you want to be a great photographer, and my writing, I'm probably at the level I'll be at, but who knows? I'm experiencing more things.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Same here. Like, I've only thought I could do, like, I'm still looking for that greater piece that I write to where it trumps this other piece. Like, I thought eyebrows would be boom. I was like, I can never do better than eyebrows. And then grandmas came, and then I'm like, oh fuck.
See, that's interesting, because I don't know if that was the first one you wrote, but eyebrows was the first one you performed, at least that I saw.
Yeah. That's what, like, solidified as, oh, comedy poetry is what I'm going to do. This is going to be a thing. And I was like, I don't think I can write anything better than this, though. And I got shit in between, like, I'm not handicapped, I'm just small. Shit like that. That's like, oh, me still trying to reach for that. And then out of the blue, I was like, let me see what this does. And I pull out grandma's. And this was something that I was like, I don't like it. I'm not really, this ain't really me. Also, it's going to, it feels like I'm attacking people's grandmother. So I took it, I revised it, and then I brought it out.
This is still comedy poetry, though.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't like a regular poem.
Exactly.
So,
and that right there, although
and you know
when
what?
it comes
Fuck some people's grandmas.
True.
Some of them do need to be attacked. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
it's not being attacked.
Fuck,
it's just
fuck, you got the hot flashes and now you're a bitch. I'm sorry.
Well, it's that also grandmas need dick. So that's the whole premise of it. You know, it's like your grandma out here fucking. And people are like, well, hold on.
So they're still hood for me.
I don't want my grandma to still be fucking, but she is. Because that's why they got
something to live for.
Yeah. So that's when it comes to socially, eyebrows did better than grandmothers, but out in the public when I see it, grandmothers does better.
So are we
than,
talking about
with
like how well it
views.
does, or how you feel from an artistic standpoint? And I hate like when I guess it's weird because you're doing comedy and poetry combined.
Yeah, that's a little bit of everything though. All of that. All of that.
Linguistically, like, do you feel like grandma's was better than?
What happens is grandmother's was very simple. The simplicity of grandmothers is why it's just like, why is this so good? But it's because it's simple that people can really catch on. Eyebrows is a little more complex, but also it doesn't reach to everybody because not everybody fucks with their eyebrows like that. But that's just in the real world.
Premise.
Right. So
Whether
when
you
it
relate
comes
to it or not. I mean,
when
I
it
guess
comes
I
to
don't know.
online, the shit did over 1 million views. Eyebrows. But when it came to grandmothers is just like right below eyebrows.
Okay.
So social or online, eyebrows does better. But out in the real world, grandmothers is the one and that's just like, what the fuck?
I guess so I have 2 books, and I'm going to mention this because I'm on a podcast.
Bring it out there.
One is a book of short stories that I've written over the last 20 years. It's called Lies We Tell Ourselves. And, like, it runs the game. There's a lot of it's all kinds of different genres. And there's a couple stories that are basically true. I won't say which ones. It's probably obvious if you actually read it. Nobody has, but like I think I'll be able to write like the ones that are true that might be the best I'll ever write, because like it really deals. I'll tell you off camera what it's about, but it really deals with something that like pain, like long held pain and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to write better than that when you're expressing like the truth of you revealing something to yourself.
Is you have a poetry side when you're speaking like that. Just continue. I understand where you're going.
But the book of short stories isn't really funny. I've just for whatever there's one fictional one called Dicks about 2 guys sitting in a car. They're private detectives. I think it's funny. You might like a lot
that
of people.
That is funny.
The first line is like, I think he's gonna fuck that dog, and then it goes from there. But that's the only like kind of funny story. But my other book, my first one, is called, and I've never been crazy about the title, but it's appropriate. Earning My Ears, My Adventures in Disney College.
Yeah.
And that's a story that took me 17 years to write. I started writing it like 5 years after my time in Disney College program when I was a monorail pilot. And I knew like what had happened there because like that's, and one of the reasons I can do stand-up, even though I'm not a stand-up, is because, and you know this about me, like when anything happens to me, it doesn't matter if it's funny or not, within a minute or two, like, oh, I know the beats. I know how I'm going to tell this.
Yeah.
And it's not a lie. It's just like, whether it's photography, comedy, poetry, whatever, it's about learning how to see the world.
Yeah.
And I view almost everything through the lens of comedy. So like when something terrible happens to me, I'm like, okay, what's the humor? Oh, I know I'm going to make this funny.
Yeah.
And so my experience in the Disney College program, I knew, this is funny. Even the darker shit. Because the ongoing story of it is like, I always call it a love rectangle. I don't know why. It should be a love square.
Triangle?
No. It's a like that. I guess that's why I call it a love rectangle. But no, my best friend was talking to this girl that he wasn't interested in. He was interested in her roommate. I was best friends with her roommate. And the girl that he was talking to that was interested in him was the one I was head over heels for. So like
yeah.
it wasn't a triangle, it was a square.
It was
except
but
nobody
rectangles
was chasing me.
is fine. Oh.
So the ongoing story is like me mostly trying to woo this girl. It's also parts of the story of me and my now former best friend. But I knew there was a story there, but it took me 17 years to write it. And, and if you are interested at all in like what it's like to work in Walt Disney World, that's a good chunk of it. It's not the whole story. A lot of it's just what happened to us. But I'll never write a better book than that in those terms because it's proper funny. And like, you know me, like one of the best compliments another writer that I'm friends with, Blake Petit, was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm reading it like, and I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah.
Because linguistically, like when I write a short story, I don't curse a lot. There's no reason to, but like if I'm telling a story, you know, like all I do is
don't really curse I don't really hear you curse as often in general. Really? And you say like off the wall words and shit, but I can't, like, maybe a fuck every now and then. I don't know how often.
Dude, I curse a lot. Yeah. I curse too much.
Huh. I guess it's so
like right now we're having a conversation. There's no I think you probably just inundated to it because
probably.
And now I'm self-conscious. I'm like, have I cursed at all like this?
I don't think you've cursed at all since you've been here.
I know I've said pussy several times, but
all right, but is that a curse word though? I guess in my mind I don't see it because
I don't talk about pussy in front of my mama.
Oh, all right. I see what you're saying. All right, but all right. Touche. It's not like.
Do you?
Nah. Well, okay. My mama. You talking about my mama or my stepmama? It depends.
Either one.
Because my mama talking to me about pussy. So
your mama's gay though, right?
Yeah.
So
right. So my stepmama. Definitely don't bring a pussy to my stepmama.
My mama don't talk to me about dick. Thank God. I'm already, on that suicidal ideation. I was like, that might actually push me over, but no, like the Earning My Ears is written in my voice, so there's a lot of like unnecessary cursing, but it's just how I think,
Yeah.
Like there's a story. So I actually mentioned like the hat that I used to wear, which was like a black felt cowboy hat.
Y'all had to wear?
No, that I wore.
Oh, okay.
Although when I worked in Toontown, I was they had a Western theme to my uniform, which was cool because it was basically just like a red button-up shirt and a pair of jeans.
Yeah.
But I want to say, did we wear hats? I think we might have. I don't have any pictures of me in that uniform. I have pictures of me in the monorail uniform because that was like fucking 70s bell bottoms.
So nice. Shit. My friends are hella interesting. It's just like, yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, fucking Earning My Ears. And you got the rope. See, I listen to a lot of your mom's house and shit now. Mm-hmm. They have their bits and their jokes about the actual. Yeah, you got your rope droppers and in the park the people that are there for when it opens first thing in the morning, and the people that are there.
Oh, like at a theme park.
Yeah. Like I'm like, yo, it is. I know Adam's not that, but oh boy, it is serious. They like.
Yeah, I've done rope drop once because the Avatar ride, even a year later, was a 3-hour line, and we were like, we ain't fucking doing a 3-hour line.
Yeah. Yeah, when I went to Disneyland, I called you and was like, which rides do I need to get on? Yeah. And you did not disappoint, sir.
Okay. It's funny because I hadn't been there in 20 plus years at that point.
Which is crazy because everything that we got besides Indiana Jones, everything that we got, I was like, fuck yeah, we don't have to do this. The
ones you get to ride Indiana Jones?
No, it was way too long. And Space Mountain broke 3 times while we was in line.
I don't think Disney's putting money into fixing things lately. Disney's
that shit was crazy. We was in line, it shit broke, then it came back, and then it broke again, and we was almost there. We was like, nah, we wasted a lot of time. A lot of time just waiting for this. Star Wars was amazing. All that whole little
Oh, you went to the Star Wars land?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Oh man, with Wakanda and all them just. The fight. What?
Oh, right, because they have the Disneyland has the Marvel stuff. Disney World doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I was like, I can't wait till little man gets
I'm not
older.
really a Disney person anymore though. Like I haven't been.
Huh.
The last time I went was
Why so?
2019. The last time I went, you could like Disney used to do a good job of hiding how commercial it was. Like, cause look, it's not there for your enjoyment. It's there to make money. It's a business, and it costs a lot to keep something like that running.
Yeah, it does. Things are very expensive in there.
But the last time I was there,
Did
R2D2
just
that was my somebody texted
the
me.
fuck? Perfect timing, huh?
The last time you could like it no longer felt like Walt Disney World used to feel like home to me because it was like there's some places that you go and you can all feel this in your home life where you're like if you're at a park you're like, oh, that's, or if you go back to your old high school or something, you're like, oh, that's where we did that. For me, Walt Disney World, that I went to UNO, so like I lived at home with my mama. I didn't stay in a dorm. So for me, going to Disney College Program was the first time I lived in another state.
Oh, wow.
And that was like the college experience. So like when we would go around,
your college experience was Disney.
Not nearly as much fucking as they promised. That's kind of the theme of the story. I don't get any, but we were told it was the number 3 place on the planet or number 3 place in the country to get laid. Not for me. But it always felt like home to me. But when I went in 2019, I just remember being like, man, they've ruined it. Like it's still cool, but now it just feels like a theme park. Yeah. And after that, they started getting involved in politics, and I was just like, man, I'm good.
Yeah,
So like since then I've gone to Universal, and Universal's blowing Disney out of the water.
Universal Studios.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was, and I also this was the last time I went was Wayne and I went in July with Little Wayne and his wife Caitlin.
Universal's got Epcot?
No, that's Disney.
That's Disney. Universal's just Universal.
Universal. No, now now there's 4 parks. Now it's Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, which has been Islands of Adventure was 1992, I think it was built, or no, 99. That's where all the Marvel stuff was. Which one of the best rides? So the 2 best rides that I'd ever been on, maybe still today, were Indiana Jones and the Spider-Man ride. And the Spider-Man ride, that's Universal Islands of Adventure in Florida. You definitely got to do that. But
yeah.
But that's where they have Harry Potter and all this other stuff.
Oh.
But they just built. It opens officially, I think, in May. But they've been letting people in for soft opening. Epic Universe, which is everyone's saying it's the best theme park that's ever been built. It's going to be hard to get into because there's going to be people like flocking to it for at least a year. But no, Universal's where Universal's like killing it. It's got the best rides.
I think I've been to Universal as a youngling.
It's different now. Comcast bought them. Unlike Disney has always been stingy. There's all kinds of but Comcast, like anything their version of Imagineers, I forget what they call them, come up with, Universal's like, here's money, go do it.
Yeah.
And they just build like these unbelievable things. And so like the couple times I've been to a theme park since then, it's been Universal.
Oh fuck yeah! I definitely need to do that then. Florida.
And the only thing it's harder like when you got a kid, because like supposedly Epic Universe is going to have like a kids section, but it's more like your kids aren't going to enjoy Universal really until like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Like Lil Wayne, there was some stuff he could ride, and there was some stuff he couldn't.
I feel you. Oh yeah.
So we would have to do ride swap and stuff like that.
Right.
But if it was like you and the wife, y'all would have a blast.
Yeah. I see what's happening. So all right. I just recently went into the store, and we're not gonna be too long, but I just recently went into the mall not too far from here in the Oakwood. Was that Oakwood? Lakeside.
Mm-hmm.
Lakeside, and we went into the Lego land.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I knew Lego was getting intricate, but I didn't know how intricate Lego was. Like Lego got some pieces in there that's over $800, and I'm like, yo.
You mean kits or
kits? Kids.
Oh, well, they've had that like they've
but
had like
I never-
full-size Millennium Falcons since like the 80s.
Yeah. You know how much that is? It's like $850. That was the most expensive thing in there.
You know, one of the most as far as like collecting, one of the most like value retentive things is Lego.
Really?
Yeah, Lego, like for whatever reason, maybe it's the building, but Lego holds its value from what
I was about to say, because I mean,
I'm not a collector. I
yeah, to somebody that's gonna collect Lego, like, because ain't no kid going in there to buy no Millennium Falcon. Like that thing is $850.
No, their dad's
that's
buying
for
for 'em.
somebody, daddy, right there, and that's for somebody, daddy, to be like, hey, I'm gonna put this together. Don't you touch this motherfucker.
Well, you saw that in the Lego movie. Like that was the. Did you ever see the Lego movie?
Well, I love the Lego movies.
That the whole like
the Lego
thing
Batman
of it
and all
was
that.
like the dad being an asshole, but like I guarantee there was some guys in there who was like,
Gluing
goddamn
them
right,
Legos
motherfucker,
together.
don't touch my fucking Legos.
Yeah, I don't need this to break. You know how long it took it to put together?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a whole Gotham City, a plaque, a Gotham City wall. That's like $400.
But here's the thing. One of the reasons that I love that movie, it's a great movie just all around.
Lego Batman or just a Lego movie? Because I love Lego Batman.
Lego Batman, it's decent. I prefer the Lego movie, but
It's very funny.
I love the fact that they do show you the dad's a collector. But one thing I hate about collectors with kids is that they do get. Look, if you got something that's worth like $5,000, understood. Don't
Right.
let nobody touch it.
Right.
But like, I've worked in a comic book store, and I've seen kids that like walk in with their dad. The dad's like, "Well, if you buy that, you can't read it." And I've literally seen kids go, "But like, that's what it's for." And I don't say nothing because it ain't my kid, but I'm like, goddamn right, it's there to be read. Like, quit fucking holding on to this shit. Like it's all nonsense. Like,
Buy yourself two of
we
them,
live
if
in a
that's the
country
case.
where we're okay because you can, whether it's Legos or comic book, you can be precious about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're in whatever Kiev right now, you ain't fucking sitting there worrying about no Legos. Like, you know, like you're worried about bombs. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get political
We might not
like
even
that. I'm
get
just
to
saying,
fucking put these Legos together ever again.
yeah, like I just like it. It ain't worth nothing if you don't appreciate it. It ain't worth having like a classic car if it sits like in a garage.
Right.
It's there to be driven.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one of the reasons I love that movie. Is like eventually the guy goes like, "Oh no, I should be sharing my love with my son, not worrying about like how valuable my fucking Lego kid is."
Well, the thing that my friend does, he's got kids. He's like, hey, you want that? You want to start a collection? His son's like 15.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, all right, well, buy that one and then buy another one, and so you can play with that one, and then just put that one up. But
I know people do that, but just like at the end of the day, look,
if this is what you want to do,
think about like, so like I used to collect pop vinyls, and I don't have kids, but like if I did, okay, better example. My grandma used to collect like dolls, like old porcelain dolls.
little Addie Walkers.
I don't know what that is, but like porcelain dolls.
Those are the ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm scared of dolls.
She
and those
had
are the ones.
like
American
a lot of people
American
are.
Girl dolls,
That's
basically.
That's fair. But she collected these porcelain dolls. I don't even know where they are. I never even knew that they existed.
It's good.
But they exist. And my mom and my nanny were talking about it. Like, well, that one's supposed to go to Adam. And I was like, look, I love my mama. I miss her every day. I don't want
that
some
doll,
fucking porcelain doll. Like, what am I gonna do with that? Like, am I gonna go sell it? Like, okay, then I'm selling my grandma's prize, whatever. Am I gonna throw it away? Well, then you know what I mean? Like, so much of our stuff, like, it means something to you, but if your kid doesn't feel that,
Yeah.
and you're just like collecting like one to play with, one to like, then at the end of the day, when you die, your kid's got a lot of shit he's gonna have to throw away. That's just I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a cranky old man. I am.
Unless you get him into collecting and all, yeah.
But that's
also if you go price that goddamn porcelain doll that you have, you know.
Oh, I mean, I'm probably gonna end up selling like love you, mama, but like I'm not holding on to it.
Yeah, no, she
know?
would probably want you to do that anyway.
But even if I did, like, so whoever, you know, fuck, I probably got like 15 years left in me, honestly, the way I live. But like,
That's so morbid.
well, lately I've been doing like some shady shit. So, like, my mama don't know half the stuff that I've been doing. She went to the park once and like just driving around, and she was just like, "This is dangerous." I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't even know, Mama." But
I get
like,
the
but
shots.
like if my little brother is the person that has to take over when I die and take care of my shit, like it's gonna get thrown away anyway. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like there's nobody to pass it on to. You know?
Not everybody has that way of thinking, though. Not everybody's gonna think
They
that way.
don't, but like I just feel like, what would you rather do? Would you rather spend $500 on Legos? And yeah, look, it might be worth $5,000 in 20 years. It might be. You don't know. Or you could spend that $500 and go have a trip with your wife and your kid, and have an experience that like I lived. Cause that's where I am. Like dude, I got rid of all my comic collection. I got rid of most of the collected editions. All I have is the stuff that I love now. Cause I'm just like, dude, this is just stuff weighing me down. You know, and I'd rather be like not held down. I'd rather be living my life. I'd rather be, learning photography with like this dude who's like, he likes to fancy himself on Indiana Jones, but I'm always like, I give him shit. I'm like, nah. He's like, he likes to call me short round. I'm like, I'm Sala if I'm anything. But anyway, but like I'm doing all this. I'd rather be doing that stuff than spending money, So I don't know. That's just how I look at it now. Like that collector gene, like it's an addiction.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. We have a friend that's addicted to that. Got a brother that's slightly addicted to that. Yeah, I know.
We're talking about Kev.
Yeah. Wayne's same too.
Oh no, Wayne's for sure. He knows it.
Yeah, I remember. I got beat in the head.
He's at the point where he's starting to get rid of stuff.
I don't know about my brother. He probably will never. He doesn't do change too well. Yeah, I started combing my dreads out, and he's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why?" Because I can. It's my hair. Like I do whatever I want with it. 15 years after so long, it's still some good shit, I could do.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing with the dreads is like if you cut it, take a long time to grow back if you decide.
Oh yeah, well, I won't be cutting it.
But like, no, you need to do like, look, this is sort of a change for me. The change part for me really is
got this whole beard,
wearing it constantly.
The full beard. I love the full beard.
Oh.
You've always had the stubble.
That's because like I look better with like a 5 o'clock shadow, but I'm kind of at like depression. Like when I was depressed and suicidal in 2022, there was one point where I looked in the mirror and I was like, "Oh motherfucker, you look like Filipino Wolfman Jack. This is like Brown Wilford Brimley, No, right. Like I'm probably gonna cut most of it off. Because next Saturday is Free Comic Book Day, and I'm gonna be at the store just trying to sell my book, and gotta look somewhat presentable.
Yeah.
Whereas like this sort of like who gives a fuck look,
rugged. It looks like you came from spelunking or urban expoing.
I don't know, like I did Jazzland, but there's a lot of stuff where I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Also, this area right here was probably the prime spot compared to sitting on that fucking stump over there.
Oh no, that would have hurt my ass.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to be.
I did a
comfortable
podcast
for you.
that I guess will never see the light of day at Jazzland. I don't know if you remember, they used to have bumper cars.
Yep.
And I forgot, I had been bringing chairs from whenever we would record something. I forgot my chairs. So like I sat on the edge of the bumper car.
Oh.
And after like half an hour,
my
ass was killing me.
Yeah.
Like the metal just against my bone for half an hour. So that wouldn't, sitting on the tree branch wouldn't have been as bad, but
no.
it would have.
It's still not. I'd probably. Yeah. Whatever. It's a good tree to climb, but other than that, okay. This is good. This is I learned a lot. I needed this. This is what I needed. I'm glad I got the. Because now I can take these 5 hours and just think about everything that we talked about today on the way home. But yeah, man, I'm glad I get you here. We'll let everybody know where they can find you at, your books, and the things that you might be doing.
So the easiest way to find everything with me, because I have
so many names.
I have a version of Linktree called like Bio that Squarespace uses.
Is this like before Linktree came?
After.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, every company steals from everybody
else.
Facebook especially. But so if you go to my Instagram, which is Santino.imagery. Yeah. Santino, SANTINO .IMAGERY. that's where you'll see like all my photography, my videos. Like I started posting reels to try and advertise stuff. And you know how they have the little link in there so you can find my bio, where to find my books. And I do look, if you at all interested in like what it's like living in Disney, and again, it is a funny book. It can be offensive here and there. Like there was, I'll tell you when we're off air, but there was one joke that I took out because I was like, that's a little too far. But it's called Earning My Ears, My Adventures in the Disney College Program, and it's print on demand through Amazon.
Nice.
So,
hell yeah.
And I have another book as well, but let's be honest, nobody's buying lies we tell ourselves. I
the
encourage
lies
you
we
to.
tell ourselves. Go search it out. God damn it.
It's if you go to Amazon and put in Adam Santino lies, it'll it's all connected. But
hell yeah.
But yeah, Santino.imagery on Instagram is the easiest place because that's where I post everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All right, cool. We've had this train pass 3 times, and I am, this you just don't understand. This was the like out of the better shoots of just, and then you adjusted things for me. I am so excited to see what this looks like once I'm done.
It's a learning process, man.
Yeah, it is.
I'm glad to see that you put some effort into it.
Yeah, I don't have these type of sites out in Texas. I mean, I would have to look. They do have them out there, but I would have to find them, and then I would have to get somebody
to drive to them.
Yeah, and everywhere out there is like an hour or something for people. Yeah. So this wasn't nothing for us. I was 7 minutes up the road.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Fuck it, I could do this out here. I'm trying to come back more here, but shit, kids and a wife, and I gotta go back home. So this has been Tell Me a Joke, the guy line of chasing the dream. I've been your host, Maniacal, Menace. Said the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback. And until next time, keep dreaming, jokers. Woo! There it is.